conversation. The Big Seat starts now on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat.
It's 9 minutes past 9 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, good friends. Good morning, happy new year. Welcome to the Big Set. My name is Wesige Banyaj. You can be able to listen to the show online and on air on www.cruisefm.com/stream and on Cruise TV for TikTok and YouTube. To be a part of the conversation this morning, you call in on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. My name is Wesige Banyaji. Now, let me give you a rewind of the week before we get into our topic of discussion that I've already put on our social media handles, 912 Cruise FM on X and 91.2 Cruise FM on Facebook. Now, we know that the president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in his New Year's message, reminded the nation of the continued economic growth under his leadership, and he also rebuked the National Unity Platform Party president over transporting supporters on his campaign trail, moving around with over 200 vehicles and being supported by foreign interests there. The NUP party president, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, responded to the president of how security agencies restricting his movements and curtailing his campaign activities. And he said President Museveni is accusing him of exactly what he does. The executive director of the Center for Constitutional Governance, Dr. Sarah Virete, charged with disclosing personal data contrary to Section 35(1) and 2 of the Data Protection and Privacy Act, that's CAP 97. She was remanded to Luzira till the 21st of January. Now, police have dismissed claims that there is a security plot to detain National Inter-Platform lead and presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu before the January 15th election. We know certainly that Kyagulanyi went on his social media handles and said on his way to Mbale, security agencies had plans to arrest him and cause death and mayhem and all that. But at least we heard from the acting spokesperson of the military, Colonel Chris Majesi, and the spokesperson of police, Kituma Rusoke, who came out to dispute the allegations of the NUP party president. Now, Justice Simon Byabakama, the chairperson of the Independent Electoral Commission, announced that disqualification of ineligible candidates will continue until polling day. A number of opposition candidates were denominated for not meeting legal requirements for nomination. We know that we already have one in studio that is going to walk us the journey of how he ended up being disqualified or denominated from that race. President Museveni, while addressing a rally, proposed that a law should be passed that allows citizens to recall their members of parliament for underperformance. But we also know that Article 84 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda creates a provision where a member of parliament can be recalled, and the grounds are physical or mental incapacity, misconduct or misbehavior bringing disrepute to the office, persistent desertion of the electorate without reasonable cause. But also there is a procedure. The recalling process is initiated by a petition signed by 2/3 of the registered voters in the constituency or interest groups delivered to the speaker. But we also know that under Article 83, member of parliament can be lose his position or her position in parliament, his membership, after failing to attend parliament or absence of parliament for 15 sittings without the leave of the speaker. Let me welcome the team with me in studio. Good morning, Bruce Owakonda, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Wesige Banyaji.
Good morning to my fellow panelists and also the listeners of Cruise FM. Welcome to the new year 2026, and I wish you a blessed year.
Okay.
I've had a good week. We are in good spirits, but there is a growing concern. I don't know if it is because of the temperatures in the political season, but there is a lot of intolerance that is going on across the entire political divide. People from different political parties. I know we can never have a universal consensus on matters politics. We can never all of us agree, but we can always seek for common ground. So, and we appeal that we have very many voices of moderation. We don't have to be extremely intolerant to the point of violence. Whether it is state sponsored, whether it is from the police, we condemn it. Whether it is non-state sponsored from the ordinary citizens, we condemn it. We are remaining with only 2 weeks to elections. Like I've said before here, we cannot ban the country and rebuild it after the 15th. So we call for peace, we call for calm, and we pray that as a country we shall have a peaceful election. Thank you.
All right, welcome. Mr. Arnold, you're wearing MPW2, which I know so well with Mwishuche. I don't know after denomination whether you still have the right to say, to call yourself MPW2, especially for the people of Isinjiro North. Good morning and Happy New Year, Mr. Arnold.
Welcome from 2025, a year which has been defined by systematic erosion of our fundamental rights, where the mask of democracy was finally traded for the iron fist of the military junta, because we saw a lot of things happening whereby we witnessed normalization of state abductions, the UPDF that has abandoned its own constitutional mandate, with the CDF issuing threats of torture and death, army officers openly campaigning for the regime. The line between the national security forces and the partisan militia has vanished. Our leaders, Vesije, Rutae, continue to face a captured judiciary, where Edmutwe, Samugumia, Sarah Verete abductions were took place. It is also 2025, narrowing and disqualifying us out of the bureau, and just weaponization of national flags. But I want to affirm to Ugandans that change is possible in 2026 if we wake up.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a very good opening remark. Good morning, Mufunyand. Welcome to the big set.
Good morning, Banyaji. We celebrate you as our host since last year, and again in the new year. We celebrate the top management of Cruise FM to have entrusted us from last year up to today, and we are here still continuing.
Okay.
Mr. Wesige, Happy New Year to everybody, to every listener of Cruise FM, and the whole fan group of Cruise FM. I will come into a new year, and this new year, it is not like any other new year that we have always entered and accomplished. This is a special year where Ugandans are going to decide who leads them for another 5-year term.
Okay.
This is not a simple decision. It is a responsibility of every Ugandan to turn up on 15th and come and vote a candidate of his wish.
Thank you. Welcome, Stephen Katamba Muvunya, to the Big Set. Good morning, Apollo Tumsime, and welcome to the Big Set.
Thank you very much, Banyaji. Good morning, listeners of the Big Set. Yeah, my name is Apollo Tumsime, and I'm from the Alliance for National Transformation. Happy New Year to everyone, to the listeners of this great show. Moderator, yesterday we had a meeting in regard to our campaign trail for our presidential candidate who is going to be back in Western Uganda, 11th in Bushenyi, 12th January in Mbarara district and Uganda, then 13th January, which is the final rally in Mbarara city here. However, something came up. We got some information from our coordinators in Mbarara that there is one Prosper. I have since learned that he is the chairman for NRM from Mbarara district, who said that there is no opposition candidate who is going to campaign in Mbarara, and he was making remarks because they also reported that he was associated with the operation that happened on the new presidential candidate when he was arrested in Wizwera because he was heading for the final rally there. So he is going around saying that there's no opposition candidate that is going to campaign in Mbarara district. But I would like to inform Prosper that as the day follows night, NRM party is just an organization which has been here. You are not the first. You are not among the proprietors of the party. You will eventually leave and you will see your door out. So I want to encourage our coordinators in Mbarara district to continue mobilizing people. That our presidential candidate is going to come and is going to hold two rallies, one in Wizwera, another one in Lubindi on the 12th, and there is nobody is going to stop that. I want to welcome my brother, Ankunda Bestanodia. When he was speaking, of course, well, there was a lot of calmness in the room. I see the grief, I see the pain, but also acknowledge his spirit, the courage and the enthusiasm that we can be able to shake this country. And I can tell you, Banyaji, that for us on January 15th, we are ready to change this government by the force of the ballot.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Apollo Tumsime. Good morning, Sifa Safi, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Banyaji. Thank you so much for having me, and Happy New Year. Good morning and Happy New Year to my colleagues in the studio, and of course to our listeners, the likes of Bwana Madilu, Agaba in Wintu, and so many other students at BSU, MAST, and all those people who love Sifa Safi. I'm so happy to see Mr. Arnold Best. I think it's my first time being with you here. Of course, like my friend here said, no one can downplay the effort and the courage you had, or you have even, because you've not lost it. And at the end of the day, it's not the end of life. Something might not work out the way you want, but at least as long as you're still living. Because the English say that health is wealth. As long as you're healthy and you're living, then all these other things can come in handy. And Banyaji, my friends in Tanzania, Kenya and around there, they tell you that uzima au afya ni mali. Ukiwa mzima lazima unakuwa ni mtajiri. And my brothers and sisters down there in Rwanda, ubuzima buruta magana. Yubu fita ubuzima n'amagana ubu yafite. Amafaranga ntacyo ariko ubuzima ni ikintu cyiza cyane. And of course here we say that amagana gatera magana. Rubasa kubo inente rukumi, but you cannot even take a glass of water. Nubakutwecha twakanyama hapana. Tweka tunatinkenda because you cannot even take it. And of course even Baganda also say that obulamu bwe bugaga. So what I'm trying to say is we thank God we don't take it for granted that we are still breathing, Banyaji. This year so many people abaturujiro wahura abagenzire kutari kugira ngo nito barunje munonga, but ruhangachi turinzire. And of course allow me to condole with those who have lost their loved ones. Umwako gugona tibire birunje konka. There's a reason, I believe there is a reason for everything that happens in this world. Thank you so much.
We're stopping for a break. When we come back right into our topic of discussion. Good morning.
It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends.
It's 34 minutes past 9 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends. My name is Wesige Banyaji. I have Bruce Wakunda, Stephen Katamba Muvunya, Best Arnold Dankunda, Apollo Tumsimi and Sifasafu. We shall be talking about the whole trend of the Electoral Commission denominating candidates literally 2 weeks to the election. But we also have the events that captivated all of us throughout the entire year. So we shall also have a minute for each one of us to speak. Already Best Arnold has stated his highlights of the year, but we shall also interrogate the statement of the president that already has provisions in law. Members of the community or constituents can actually recall a member of parliament for a couple of reasons, but the president thinks it should be more deliberate. We are going to be discussing this and much more. But something happened about this week that all of us big seaters who are not as happy. We may not be members of the PFF, but we would have wished one of our own to be on the ballot. MPW too, you're not going to be on the ballot come the 15th of January. Or it's even possible that you will be, but invalidly so. What does this make you feel? Did you see it coming? Was it a long time coming? Are you facing a very indomitable lion in Isinjiro North that you could not ever defeat? Are you simply rebuking the state, the Electoral Commission for disqualifying you, even when you know there were a couple of illegalities that were done on your part? Walk us that journey up to where you are. Best Arnold.
Thank you very much, Mr. Owesige Banyaji. About that, I came with a copy of the Electoral Commission, whereby they sent me that letter informing me how I was nullified and disqualified out of the race of Isinjiro North. And it was last year, of course, 2025, in November, when one of the two of my nominee signatories petitioned that I forged their signatures. Thereafter,
literally, you're saying your seconders.
My seconders, yes. So immediately after that, after the Electoral Commission had called me, I went on and called these people because they are my friends. One of them is my coordinator, has been my coordinator in Riamhini, and I wanted to find out if they are the ones that petitioned. And immediately after seeing in that letter, I saw they had petitioned using Rukutan advocates.
The law firm.
Exactly, that law firm. And me knowing these people, I don't think they can even get money to go to that law firm. So I was too much disappointed because these people, because I've been with these people for a while and they have never stepped in Mbarara City. And this law firm is in Kampala. So I was too much distressed and disappointed to find that these people used that law firm in the first place. So I wanted to call them and know if they are the ones. So these people frankly told me that Minister Bright Rwamirama and the RDC of Isinjiro district, they called them into the RDC's office, intimidated them, bribed them, coercing them to claim that I forged their signatures. So they took them to Kampala and did everything they wanted to do. So after receiving this letter, yes, I had to go there into the hearing, of course, as the law asks us to do. After reaching the hearing, I went with that audio because I had to record them for an evidence. So after reaching there, we sat in the tribunal of the Electoral Commission. One of them, who is Gava Edgar, didn't appear. for cross-examination and hearing. And one who is Naiga Stera appeared when he was manned, when he was with certain people. But then after reaching there, then she stood and said, indeed, she didn't sign for me. She actually said she didn't know me in the face of the tribunal. So I was like, it's okay. So my lawyers had to cross-examine him, and she failed everything. Because she was like, she knew, she petitioned on 8th, and the letter of the petition was signed on 5th. It means she petitioned before knowing that I did what? I forged their signature. Because she knew that I forged their signature on 8th. And the date of the petition was signed on 5th. So the cross-examination was too much contrary to what she was saying, and too much contrary to the petition, contrary to everything that was mentioned in the tribunal. So we went on, and I gave in the evidence of a recording, and it is Biabakama who told me that, yes, we have heard everything, and thank you very much for presenting well. What you're going to do, continue campaigning. We shall send you a letter of the hearing resolutions. So it was on 19th when this letter was signed, but then I received it on 27th.
The letter was signed on 19th.
This letter of nullifying the denomination. It was signed on 19th December, but then they issued it out, sending it to me on 27th. Immediately after Christmas. So I don't know why they kept it. I don't know why they kept it from 19th to 27th, because even it was not yet Christmas. 19th wasn't Christmas, but then they kept it till 27th. It is when I received it. And what they were mentioning is that Naiga Stella, the second petitioner, was subjected to cross-examination, but she did not appear a credible witness. Now my question to Mr. Biabakama was, how can you fail? How does a complainant fail to be a credible witness in her own cross-examination? Secondly, they mentioned that the respondent, me, Angunda Bestanod, attempted to tender evidence of a recording of a phone conversation between himself and Agaba Edgar. That is the first petitioner. But it was not verified or authenticated. Hence, the commission could not rely on the same. So, you can imagine, why didn't they rely on the same? My evidence I provided, why couldn't they rely on the same, on that evidence? So, you see, I have dissatisfaction in this disqualification, but then I think it is time to tell people
Yes.
it is time to tell people that we need to look at Biabakama's papers to prove whether he is a qualified lawyer and a judge.
It's actually, because if a justice of the Court of Appeal.
Because if an engineer, yes, we need to look at those papers of him. You might find he's not actually.
After all, there are rumors of a young lawyer in Nairobi who has never stepped in law school, but had one day over 26 cases.
Because how could an engineer, Badru Chugundu, fail to make all these gross mistakes, but a lawyer does?
Thank you.
So,
I think you've given us a good background.
Yes,
very good background. Owakonda. This young man, barely 30, I doubt, is just a young man. The courage to even pick nomination papers and represent a constituency takes guts. Some of us are way too old. We cannot even go and pick. We don't have the guts to pick those nomination papers. This young man went with all the zeal, the future leaders that were always told about. He wanted to contest and be a member of parliament. There is the law on one end and there is politics on the other. What are you reading of the denomination of members of the opposition, Owakonda?
Thank you, Banyaji. First of all, I want to sympathize with my young brother, Ankunda Best Arnold. upon being denominated, I think he also saw it coming.
He cannot pretend to say he didn't see it coming.
Yes, and like you said, I want to agree. It takes a lot of courage for a young man like Best Arnold to pick nomination papers. You know the growing demands of running a campaign.
Yes,
and it is very sad. But with an elaborate explanation from him, you can see that, and reading from other cases where scenarios where people have been denominated, I can confirm now this is a syndrome. The unopposed syndrome.
The first time this was happening in Bukedia, was it?
Yes.
With the LOC5 chairperson, where the president said, this is obnoxious, this is unacceptable. So someone badly wants to be unopposed, even when they have the ability to outrightly win an election. And the president wouldn't understand it. You and I and all human beings in this studio simply do not understand how Honorable Bright Ramerama, Lieutenant Colonel, is so interested in being unopposed, even when he knows that he could have an upper hand, even when Best Arnold is still in the race.
So it is very sad, and we are setting bad precedents for our electoral future, because we are going to have problems. Now that it has become a syndrome, it is even going to get worse as we continue moving forward. But what I don't understand is whether it is that our candidates in the national resistance movement are very meticulous. We pay attention to detail. Our papers are clean, because I've not seen a candidate from NRM who has been denominated this this cycle. That we shall get to that and understand. But what I read is that this is systemic persecution of some elements, opposition elements, and people should never be persecuted for their beliefs. That's the essence of democracy. That every Ugandan has a right to associate with whatever ideology they want, whatever party they want, whatever belief and conviction they have. They should never be persecuted for that. And for Best Arnold's opponent, first of all, you've put it where he's a historical, someone who has been a member of parliament, I think, for forever. His track record should be speaking for him.
Yes.
Because if you have given him an opportunity to lead us for 25 or 30 years, then there should be your track record should speak for yourself. Two, this speaks about this conversation of transition, and I think we need like a bridge between the older generation and the emerging leaders like Trust Arnold, because there seems to be a big rift and mistrust between the two generations. The young people no longer trust the older generation. The other generation does not. It is not even about trusting. Okay. They are afraid.
Can't we comfortably say that Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the general, would actually play that role very well?
Katamba will answer that. Answer that question of Mose. I'm not an authority there. I trust Katamba to answer that. Yes. But I told you here sometime back that there is a small clique of people where Wamirama and other people belong. Yeah. For them, it is either them or none.
Or no one else.
If it is not him, it is not some other people. And they are powerful. They have infiltrated most state organs, if I'm to be honest. They don't consider public good. For them, it is private gain. They have a strong patronage network. They can influence policy. They are commission agents. They have made a lot of money. They even use weaponize security. You find people are doing deployments. You trust Arnold, your opponent is Katamba, but Katamba is making a deployment when he's a civilian. So we are in a very, very, very tough situation. And this is an appeal to the Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission is supposed to be independent, not even neutral. It is supposed to be independent. They are supposed to act within the best interests of all candidates. No undue political influence from whether the executive, whether the powerful people. So Electoral Commission and they are doing a shabby job. They are really doing a shabby job.
Thank you. Let me bring in Apollo. Apollo, I was talking to a gentleman about a day or two ago, and he clearly told me this had been orchestrated by the president. when the president made it seem automatic for any independent, unopposed candidate to make it to cabinet, literally these people are saying, we've read the mind of the president. The moment you go unopposed, literally your slot in cabinet is assured.
But how many people in cabinet that went unopposed?
Well, there were a couple of those that were unopposed actually made it to cabinet. It is very likely
because they are a handful.
We could also interrogate that. But what is with this whole obsession of being unopposed? And the clique look like their friends. The man in Usoga, Magogo, his opponent had resigned from police, which is civil service, 2 years ago.
Yes.
But he was disqualified because he didn't present a letter that proved that he had resigned from that job 2 years ago. Did we see us go so low to this level?
Apollo should also tell us why the ant candidate in Isinjiro is not... they are removing other people,
but for him it's put.
He's just there.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Now, first of all, the conversation you had with your...
Let's have Apollo.
Yes, the conversation you had with your colleague that for every unopposed member of parliament made it to cabinet previously. Well, I think that's true, but I know President Museveni, for the years that I've followed him, he was also good at reading patterns. So first of all, being unopposed was like a reward for good mobilization and maybe to show that NRM is actually strong in that area. But now I know President Museveni also is going to sit down and look at how did this person become unopposed after all, after frustrating all the opponents and then you claim to be unopposed, because unopposed is supposed to be
the president blaming any candidate that could have been behind the action would be unfair when there is an independent electoral commission that has mandate under the constitution.
Yes. So, and the whole process, for me, I have no problem with people becoming overambitious to get unopposed. But the issue is to use our institution, the Electoral Commission, the Independent Electoral Commission. That's where things go south. And Justice Simon Byabakama really, at his level as a Justice Court of Appeal, it is so surprising. He reads the law, he looks at the law, and decides to put the law aside and uses his feelings to...
He actually said he will even denominate candidates on election day.
Just
these people own this country.
Think about his document about the guideline on the voting day, that after voting you go home. So he has the Presidential Elections Act in his hands, Article 31, Section 4, telling people that after voting you just have to, you can sit or stand away just 20 meters away from the polling table. So he reads the law, he looks at it, and then he tells them, after voting, please go home. He is a justice of the Court of Appeal. So someone who is at the helm of judiciary, but can be able to make such kind of
maybe
remarks.
it's me, Muvunya, and Sifa that have been around for the longest of time. Never had we ever seen Aziz Kasuja and Engineer Badu Richigudu being this excited about managing an electoral process.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
And see, Banyaji, like that letter I'm talking about, the guideline he issued, it came after the CDF had made remarks. So he wanted as if to put some legal aspect in the CDF's statements, just to legalize it a little bit. And then the CDF was clear that after voting, go home. The process is going to be transparent. But you also know that the CDF, before saying that, previously on Twitter he had said, please make sure that you give Muzei 80%, a massive win. So you are telling me to give Muzei 80%, and then you are telling me that after voting I go home, that you want to protect my election, and the process is going to be transparent. He is a chairman of the PLU, these guys who subscribed to PLU, and then PLU made a coalition with NRM purposely to make sure that NRM gets 80%. So the chairperson of PLU, who issued a statement that NRM should get 80%, is the one now telling me that after voting I should leave the polling station. He's going to protect my vote. What kind of mockery is that? So, coming back to Justice Simon Byabakama, I'm feeling so sorry for Ankunda Best Arnold. First of all, in such petitions, me, I've been on the ballot before for member of parliament for Nyaushozi in 2021. Even now, I tried to get back, but of course, I had my personal challenges. But getting 10 people to sign for you in a nomination form in a constituency where you think you're going to
get 10,000
yes,
votes.
get 10,000 votes. So how do you actually think about nullifying a candidate that he has not got a minimum of 10 just 10 signatures? 10 signatures.
But if at all that's what the law requires,
yes.
Why are you blaming Yamakama for simply enforcing the law?
And let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
If you indeed claim that Bruce signed for you, and for me I go before the tribunal and I say he never signed for
what
you.
do you want Yamakama to do
no,
at that point?
I would want Byabakama in such kind of petition to raise some important questions. First of all, Arnold talked about it. How and when did you know that your name is among the people that I submitted on the nomination form?
That's my second.
Yes, as a signatory. Banyaji, from a deep village somewhere far away from the Tale Center, I submitted my nomination form. How did you know and when did you know? That's an important question, because he was saying that those people are from those deep villages. They have never even stepped on a tarmac road, but they are there approaching Mwesugwa, Rukuta and the company advocates to file a petition. So that's an important that's an important question. Another thing is that
that is actually not enough a ground to say an individual who has never crossed to Kampala cannot have access to legal counsel simply because he comes from Isidro North in the village. That would be unfair.
But you have to apply.
That would be unfair.
You have to apply logic knowledge.
Yes, we may assess it based on the facts that we know, but it does not entirely make it.
Let me tell you, Banya. Let me give you information. Let me
Please.
give you information.
Let's.
If you asked Katamba here or Wakunda Blues and you ask them how they collect signatures for the president when he's going to contest, usually they get those books, the registers, they give them to the NRM chairman, who goes around the village telling people, you just give me your ndangamuntu. We were working on something. They don't even know what happens. I am on record. For me, I have my name has been submitted twice. I've never been a member of the NRM, but my name has.
How did you know that your name was submitted?
Because my mom called me that these people came here and they were asking all the members of this household to submit their name. No, I am sure. I am sure of what I'm talking about. Secondly, let me ask you, Kasibante, Munyagwa, Franco Bolira, how did these people get 100 signatures from literally 2/3 of the districts in Uganda? For example, from Chiruhura, how did Franco Bolira? If I put a question, is there any person who knows that signed for candidate Franco Bolira or candidate Kasibante in Chiruhura, but he submitted their signatures? So there is always, I know Byabakama knows, and we know there were even some people in the Electoral Commission who are receiving money on behalf of from these candidates to put for them signatures. So the process of getting nominated has never been so complicated, but the system now, the operatives within the NRM, they're using it. Let me respond to what Bruce said about our candidate. Yes, about our candidate. We have a candidate in Isinjino North, Rutahwire Anthony, who is also waiting for the verdict of the petition because he was summoned on the same cases like my friend Bistano. But we pray that if
he was also summoned because his seconders withdrew their consent.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So we are waiting for the verdict.
Would it be coincidental that two candidates would have forged signatures of their seconders?
And the King James.
Okay, thank you.
So we are waiting for the verdict, but we pray that if Rutahwire Anthony stays on the ballot, please, people of Isinjiro North, it is time to show Lieutenant Colonel Wamerama that this is it's going to be a protest vote, and let us, all the people who have been supporting King James, the supporters of Okoda Best Arnold, our supporters of Auntie, and those in NRM who are satisfied with kind of should shower Anthony with the votes.
Let me bring Muvunya.
Yes, sir.
Let me walk you back from the time the Electoral Commission actually announced candidates to go and pick nomination forms. We saw the complaints, especially those that wanted to be candidates for the presidency. I hosted Brenda here. In fact, when I was perusing through the list of those that expressed interest, she was among those. And she came here and narrated what she had to go through. It had nothing to do with the obtaining signatures. it was a group of people that were in a room that would simply choose who would be on that ballot and who wouldn't. And in fact, there was some information that Akena was denied being on the ballot simply because he would divide the northern vote that President Museveni is assured of. And there are people that were denied being on the ballot paper because they're being the first on the ballot paper or being the last based on their letters of abbreviation, their names. No. I am bringing allegations that were made during that
it's
time.
an allegation.
And you being a member of the NRM, hearing all these things up to where we are, this young man seated next to you, we all thought he would be on that ballot and people would go in Sinjiro North and vote for their candidate of choice. It could have been Honorable Bright Ramirama. It could have been this young man.
Yes.
What does that make you feel as an NRM member, knowing that these machinations have happened since expression of interest by different candidates?
Number one, I request Ugandans to lose tempers. Even here, let's calm down first. Let's lose tempers. Number two, you know, the dynamics of politics keeps changing all the time. Especially when there is a metamorphosis of generations.
Yes.
Of course, things must change. We have a generation that has equally gone to school, at least for formal education. And remember where Uganda has come from. At one time, illiteracy was a problem. People wouldn't read and write. But today, at least a certain bigger percentage can read and write.
So are you saying? So what are you saying?
No, listen.
So are you saying
First
people
wait.
is
No,
providing
I am-
context? Yes,
I am-
he is actually saying the fact that Best Arnold went to school and obtained a degree, it has enabled him to identify particular loopholes within the electoral
No,
system.
that is one of the things.
Yes.
But it is not only Best Arnold that has a degree in Sinjiro. There are very many people. Now, what I'm
But
saying
he's a
is-
person of interest in this matter.
Exactly. What I'm saying is that Ugandans have equally known what to do more than theirs that will have finished in elections. Look at what's happening now in Uganda. It is, of course, I feel sorry also with my young brother, Mr. Arnold. I have been one of the encouragers. You can witness it.
Yes, indeed.
I've been his strong supporter that he could be also a member of parliament as a young age and could also benefit as colleagues who talk freely with him.
That is true.
I have also been wondering. Honorable Bright has been in parliament for around 25 years. And he has been always won. He has always won the competitors. He has been a minister. And of course, the credit of becoming a minister is not just a by the way. No, you must have won in the constituency with a big margin. Therefore, why today? Why the problem of the nominations of his competitors today? That's my question. Because why? He has not been always
What
feared.
has motivated this
Yes,
kind of
that's
action?
also my question also. Because he has all not been fearing the competitors. You know, these ones that he has won the constituency in parliament. Why 2025 elections? You see? That's what I ask myself. So eventually I also ask myself, because there must be a problem. There must be something wrong also.
He has lost grounds.
Number one, look, like, listen. Number one, you see, the same things are happening in some of the constituencies. We have been hearing people being nominated also because of the same issue that we're hearing in this injury. Number one, people that nominate you, that sign for you, go back.
Recalling their signature.
Yes, recalling their signature. They go back and say and complain in the electoral commission that my signature was forged.
But we cannot blame the Wananchi, the illiterates of Isidro that nominated this gentleman, when we know members of parliament append their signatures on bills and later withdraw their signatures and say, I didn't read. So
now,
this
is
can
it a problem now? Is it a disease that has also attacked Ugandans?
Why in the NRM people denominated.
Let's have Sifa. I'm going to come
Because
back to you.
I was beginning.
I'm going to give you in the second hour.
Okay.
Sifa,
Yes.
I want us to go in the second hour. After hearing you on what you think about the entire denomination craze that has been going on with the Electoral Commission chairperson saying, I will even denominate on election day. Yes.
And she should also answer this question, Banyaji, that the NRM flag bearer from Bara district, woman MP Roida Muhimbura, there was a letter from National Council for Education to Electoral Commission saying that she forged that letter, the one that equates her papers to minimum
six.
of to senior 6, that she forged them, but the lady is still on the ballot. I see her moving around bragging.
Yeah, thank you so much. But one, Banyaji, to start with Apollo's request. I'm not from Barara for your information. I mean Barra district. I'm from Barra city.
NRM people are not playing.
And I'm not an NRM spokesperson anyway.
Let's allow Sifa submit. We go for a break. I come back to
Yes, briefly, one, I'm also not contented and happy about the fact that some people think that this unopposed trend is going to take us anywhere. Well, in some cases, it is genuine, on merit, and people think, we should not, contest alongside this person because he has worked for us or she has done this and that. But in some cases, it's just manipulation, Banyaji. And I don't like it. Someone was talking about the young people, being the ones that are being sidelined and all that. Not only young people. We've had cases in some constituencies where people were really ready to be nominated and all that, and actually were nominated and now are being denominated with facts that are not convincing. So for me, I don't like it. But I'm not going to be specific on any particular one because I don't have the facts in those cases. But if you asked me, Banyaji, people have even given quotes like Mr. Forbes, Malcolm. He said, victory is sweetest when you know defeat. I don't know why people fear to be, to compete. Because I believe that if we are 4 people and I come out as the winner, then it will be sweeter than saying I'm unopposed. Why should I not be unopposed, Banyaji? Who is 100% good in this country, especially politically, that they should not be there should not be competitors? I just don't like it. You say that some people think that when you come unopposed, that is when you make it to the... It does not make sense. Actually, I asked you a question. What is the performance of these people who are on the cabinet that came in unopposed? It does not guarantee anything that you're the best. It doesn't. But you've seen people who have contested by abantu mwenda abantu we are seeing and ogwo muntu noleba really abantu baza kumutora and there is something in that person unopposed. Look at some of President Museveni's ministers, including she's called Fiona Nyamutoro and others. I don't want to mention names specifically, but that is one example. They are unopposed. But if we are going to rate them and to see how they have performed in the last term, or in this term we are going to conclude, what is the performance, Banyaji? It does not guarantee that you will be the best, you work for the people, you service deliver at the end of the day. So for me, this thing started in the NRM primaries, unopposed. You are buying people, you're bribing them, ngobeni wa yesimba weng. Hati mwabireta mwabitano mu general elections. Where are we heading to, Banyaji? I remember someone at one point called here and said, Sifa, speak well about NRM, your party. One, I don't know when we are taking NRM, that is one. But two, and some of us, I told you, are not doing this politics of they're called handouts. Then not understand could be. Because what I'm saying, Banyaji,
if I request that you allow me take a break.
But let me conclude on this.
We're going in the second hour. You're going to have an opportunity. I know I've not given you enough time with Muvunya. Let's stop for
it
break.
Is okay.
We are going to get right into it. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
It's exactly 2 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM, great music, good friends. We're right here on Plot 12, Mutilene, opposite Entire School. Now, the Big Seat happens every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11. We talk about issues, governance. It's no exception of this morning. We are talking about denominating candidates as we head to the 2026 general elections on the January of the 15th. This is month. And we encourage all Ugandans to really participate in this exercise. On the 15th, go and vote. I have Bruce Wakunda, Muvunya Katamba. I have Best Arnold Ankunda, Apollo Tumsime, and Sifa Safi. Before we went for a breather, we're talking about the whole menace of denominating candidates. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission was categorical. He will denominate candidates even on voting day for as long as they don't meet particular legal thresholds. Council Franco is listening in. Thank you, Council, for listening in and catching the show. Council Franco is sending regards to Sifa. Sifa, my law teacher, is sending you greetings. Council Franco teaches at the Law Development Center. I want to remind you that you can be part of the conversation when you call in on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Social media handles is 912 Cruise FM on X and 91.2 Cruise FM on Facebook. We are Cruise TV for TikTok and YouTube. Before we went for break, we were talking about the disgust of this whole shorthand machinations by particular candidates to make sure that they get to the ballot unopposed for whichever reason. Sifa, you are condemning the whole thing, but why would you blame... Yes.
I'll specific about particular cases.
Please.
Yes. So, Banyaji, thank you so much, Council at LDC. Thank you so much for listening and for loving Sifa. I was saying that if we continue condoning these things, Banyaji, generally, yes, unopposed, those generations are going, they'll not be in politics forever. And for us who are coming in and others who are coming in that are younger than us, like my friend here, I said I'm not going to be talking about a particular incident. They should be given an opportunity, Banyaji, to know that when you qualify, of course there are cases where people did not make it, give the required number of signatures and all that. What do you want Mr. Byabakama to do? But there are cases which are not even straightforward, that you cannot even explain to, even the people inside the parties in those particular cases cannot even explain well what happened, because it's confusing. When we bring in law, like you said, Mr. Banyaji, sometimes even us who are not lawyers realize that these things do not necessarily have you have to be a lawyer. Every time we talk about rocket scientist, my dear listener out there. So for me, Banyaji, there are certain things that we should know. Konga, like we said off air, these people who have started thinking that it is business. Then for whatever reasons, because of what have been given money or what promised jobs are here and there, that is not good at all. You never have peace of mind. Even that money you're not going to enjoy. I saw someone on TV sometime back about, of course, same issue. And this person was saying, you did not go, I think I mentioned it here last some time back. Someone was saying, you did not go to school. We last saw you before sitting examinations and you left. Yet some other people were saying this person sat and he has papers and he has. So what is that all about? You're going to please Banyaji by getting money from them and, saying that they should be unopposed, but you never know where you're going to meet Mr. Apollo. Or denying and then also I was telling you about some NRM members. Now they will listen to me and they will say to NRM, because for them they want yes. And then next thing, Banyaji, they will tell you nishabataka kwa point njiro mu RDC because no gamba mazum. I don't care. We are not all going to be RDCs as Ugandans, Banyaji, but Uganda is going to continue. So
Obijugu should have been here.
I don't care. He's listening in. He's going to get this clip. If you want, you send it to him. But what I'm saying, Banyaji, let's build something that is going to benefit all of us. Because at the end of the day, you don't know who's going to be in power tomorrow or the other day. And like I said, we have young people. Now, you think all these people have been disappointed or not supporters of President Museveni? Some of them are. But they have been disappointed. If you don't qualify, don't waste people's time. Because you want to make headlines and news. You know, you're not going to get those signatures that they want, but you come in so that when they disqualify or when they denominate,
but Sifa, which adult can fail to get 10 signatures?
They are there.
Let's be honest.
But then this reminds me of what you were talking about.
Yes.
You said that Mr. Kena would have made it because he has supporters, and actually you said that he has 9 members of parliament. Me, I've said here, I've been categorical here, I've said I support President Museveni 100%, but not necessarily all NRM politicians. We have been talking about flags some time back, and people are saying, Kumaraza radio, you tell people to vote all NRM flag bearers. Okay, maybe yes, 100% that's what you think. But my question is, I don't know how you got that flag. How am I going to defend it here? If you know you got it genuinely, they are going to vote you. Why should I come here to say voting over a flag? People know out there. They don't have the voice because people know. They know that Apple has the NRM flag. Now if I come here and start saying every NRM flag should get the votes, Banyaji, I will not be able to defend it in some cases.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, yes, we need flag bearers. We need an opposed members of parliament. I've given an example of the Prime Minister Nabanja. If they tell me she's an opposed, I wouldn't be surprised. She has worked for those people there and for the country as well, generally.
She actually, in the NRM primaries,
yes,
she told her constituents,
yes,
that she's embarrassed she's not an opposed. When her colleagues are big and opposed.
Exactly.
With the hard work that
yes,
she has put in.
Exactly. Yeah. But for me, the fact that you're not an opposed does not mean that people don't appreciate what you have done. And actually, I've said that should have been one of the people that shouldn't have been, that should have been an opposed. But the fact that she wasn't means, like I said, I want to repeat, that coming an opposed does not necessarily mean that you're the best. We don't know how you come an opposed, and that should be questionable. But as I finalize on this, Banyaji, I want to tell Ugandans that we are someone talked about the excitement. Actually, I think it was you. Excitement of Mr. Byabakama in trying to manage this. It's not about excitement, if you asked me. Things are changing, like my friend Movanya said, dynamics. The population in those years of Aziz that you are talking about was different from the population we have today. The technology advancement has changed.
But
people are going to come at police.
The law hasn't. The law hasn't.
But who makes the law? That is the problem. That's where the problem comes from.
Thank you, Sim.
No, let me conclude on this point.
Please.
So, things have changed. Like I said, numbers have changed, technology. I heard of someone saying, you come to the polling stations with your phones, take pictures and all that. So if they say some of these things should change, let us really agree. Because some people, in fact, those days people are sober. Majority of the people were sober. Abantu bakabiza about sober. Konkato muntu naiza kuizatire chatire atirwe aiza kora kavia polling station. Things have changed, Banyaji. Let us agree to move with the times, you know, and with the changing times.
Thank you, Sifu. Mufunya. We are men here, you know.
Yes.
We know power. No, I mean, you inclusive. We are adults. That's what I mean. We are
even men.
Oh, yes.
Even her.
Yes. No. Please don't take offense. I intended to mean.
Yes.
I mean we love this country.
True.
We can just have a candid conversation about this country.
True.
Power is not for losing. President Museveni defied odds, went for a protracted war, 5 years, captured power, 10-point program. In those was democracy and constitutionalism, rule of law. And President Museveni was disgusted with what Obote and Amin were doing to the citizens of this country. Don't we sit back as members of the NRM and think, wait a minute, we have this power, we've had it for 40 years, and we have the backing of the people of Uganda. But how about the other side? These are all Ugandans. Must we always be dismissive of the opposition, even when they could raise very legitimate concerns? Doesn't it bother you?
No, you man, you are beginning to be logic, and you are going to make us struggle for so long. But here, I can analyze. Do you know why NRM has kept in power for 40 years?
It's not accidental.
It's not accident.
Yes.
People have been voting Museveni and other people of NRM, me inclusive.
Yes.
I told you at first that as the country grows, of course it grows with the population and other things. Some other things also change. Likewise, politics is not a bed of roses. No. You see, I want to educate my younger generation that now, politics now is becoming a job. Whereby, when you become a member of parliament, your lifestyle your lifestyle financially changes immediately. If there is any paying job in this country, it is becoming member of parliament. Therefore, when there is a competition of such opportunities, the things must be tougher. And people that are not used to tough times will always cry.
Is Chagulan standing to be member of parliament?
No, a presidential candidate.
There was a video that we saw. I sent it to Oakunda.
Yes.
Where a young man in Mbale was literally beaten to pulp. And the video clearly shows police officers having beaten this young man and left him for the dead.
You see, there's Mr. Wilson.
And this is the presidential
Let me tell you
race.
something.
These things we must all
we also sympathize.
Ugandans.
We also see them and we wonder. And sometimes we sympathize with them. But now look, who is not beating the other?
That's a good one.
Even the opposition fight police.
Why? No, there's even a
I
video.
imagine.
There's even a video of goons of NUP beating a man wearing yellow in a banana plantation and literally.
Those are the causes of brutality. Those are the causes of brutality.
And why?
No, he wasn't. Just because he was putting on
Let's allow Muvunya. Let's allow Muvunya.
So now, that's why I'm telling you that when society becomes brutal,
let's allow Muvunya.
When society becomes brutal and emerges to overtake security apparatuses, obviously force must appear. So that's what we are doing. Because we have been advising opposition that please behave, abide with the rules of electoral commission. The people are stubborn.
But let me put a question that Apollo put. You have a chief of defense forces.
Yes.
In Mhozeka in Gabada General.
Yes.
Saying openly that President Museveni must get 80% this time round. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm hearing it. I am hearing it.
We cannot have been here for so many years and you're saying there is nothing wrong with that, knowing very well the provision of the law. So
yes.
when the CDF says, let's give it to Muvunya, when the CDF says the president must get 80% and is directing everyone to be off the polling station, don't talk about the 20 meters, even when there is a provision of the law. And simply because NUP and the rest are mobilizing their supporters to stay on the polling station. But the CDF has already declared that President Museveni must get 80%. There's already that conflict. How do you trust Besta Nkunda and Apollo Tumusime here to believe and trust the state when the state actors have already decided what they want and they are enforcers of the law?
I have always told you
yes.
that Ugandans, there are two things we confuse. And it really disturbs our mind when we are determining on some of the things.
Yes.
Now, I told you that everybody, even an army officer, general, minister, have the conscience that determines who he supports.
But you see, the equalizer is the law.
Yes, it is okay.
The law is the equalizer.
Now, let me ask you something.
What does the law say?
If he says go home. If he says go home.
But the law says don't go home but keep 20 meters away. Yes. What then stands? This is the question I'm placing to you. The CDF is saying after voting, go home. The law is saying after voting,
what is home?
20 meters away.
No, you see, the CDF says,
hey.
After voting, give space to others to vote.
No.
Please go.
Leave the venue.
Hey,
leave the voting venue.
Even the electoral commission chairperson.
Come back.
No, the electoral commission chairperson is saying vote and go home.
What's going home? Going home means leaving the petrol station, the polling station. Polling station is the venue where the exercise of voting takes place. Come and vote. Then go somewhere else. Whether home, whether at the training center, where you can wait. Go somewhere where you can wait until the election has ended.
We have the arbiters of the show, the telephone calls, the lifeline of the show. Call in and let us to get to hear from you on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Bruce, you look like you want to help Muvunya.
No. Let him carry his own cross.
But on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The big seat. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
John from Sinjo, First John.
Yes, please.
But
We can't hear you very well.
me, I'm saying that I have read that today's political, we need to give nominees all those seconders to give them.
Bro, please, when you call, be on point. The big set.
Yes, good morning, USD.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Simon Nicholas calling you from Kizwanyatira.
Yes, please.
Thanks for the show.
Thank you for catching it.
But I want to remind you people, you have to know how long are contracts of some people in parliament. So when you are seeing now people are getting disqualified after they have been nominated, you see this one is it's not good real. Another thing in politics is now commercialization in politics is becoming a problem. So you see people who don't have money, they cannot succeed in politics.
Okay.
So President Museveni and his electoral commission have to revise their issues and settle the problems of the politics. Good morning.
Good morning. The big set.
Mr. Wesigevanya.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning to you. Christmas.
Yes, please.
Wagambona the first time Majagabir Gamkonga from Tempara in Sinjiro district. So, Mr. Johnny, for me, what I'm seeing is the electoral commission is what he decided. It is true. If you don't want collision on the policy, just you go there and vote after him. Because if you get there, you can give them space to count very well their votes, and after they announce who has won the vote. So nda kino muramugona jangu gumaho kana bwisiru wagumumbaza kumbaza zo mukavuyo babwire kino kora complaining bajungu otahe waremera nda nteyine shonga.
Okay. Yeah, buddy. Let me end with this before I come to Bruce. The big set.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Dr. Bruno from Sinjo.
Yes, Bruno.
I thank you very much for the good program. Nienda kusasa na Best Arnold mwana wa Njogwe. Konga nimbuza. Na twara sente mu electoral commission na nibyo kunga ambaho banyango banominatinga. Hati hichikwiza kikarigera kugira ngo ngumanyere na nene ngusuma na mama ya nkatata kandi uko kumanya ngo mama narara na tata ibintu bitandikiranga.
Yeah, buddy. But Bruce, we must also feel for the electoral commission. Some things are very hard to preempt. Because a question will be posed to the electoral commission. Why wait 2 weeks to the election for you to disqualify a candidate who has invested? They don't know. All right? But you see, when someone is withdrawing their consent, the law does not say that you can only raise a red flag to the electoral commission a month to the election. Even on the election day, a voter can say, this man, there is an issue. Are we blaming the electoral commission so much, forgetting the task at hand?
Like you've said, Banyaji, before, these are political questions. And for me, looking at the bigger picture, I'm almost coming to a painful acceptance that managing transition is going to be chaotic. Because whether you agree or not, the dynamics have changed. The youth are the most dominant political force, and they are gaining momentum each and every day. One, they have methods of mobilization and the engagement using digital tools. They are leveraging on it.
The president will be on TikTok on Sunday.
He's going to be on TikTok. and
the host, even the daughter, forget about the daughter, But a gentleman that is known for speaking just the laissez-faire things and grapevine and wolokoso and serious things is that's how powerful the youth vote now is.
Yes. So and you see, I understand Museveni and his contemporaries at some point, because as human beings we fear change, we fear the unknown, we prefer what is familiar. They do not know what is going to happen the moment they are no longer in charge. They have amassed wealth, they have been accustomed to privileges, they fear to lose those privileges.
That is correct.
But the fundamental mistake we make here is that you do not shut the door on young people like Arnold. No. You let them inside, and then you can compromise or negotiate with them.
True.
Because trust me now, if Arnold had gone to parliament, he has gains to protect then.
That is
yes.
That is correct.
Yes. So you would rather...
He would be having a lot of 200 million for the car, 30 million for salary per DM, and he has a package of about 2 billion.
But the more you suppress them, the more you radicalize them, and you close all avenues of engagement. So I understand I feel for them. They are afraid of the unknown. They are not sure of what is going to happen, which is inevitable.
If you met President Museveni today, what would you candidly tell him?
First of all, I would not ask him to retire, but I would discuss with him about the transition question. What plan does he have for transition?
He has severally answered that question.
That what?
Is that he has nothing to do with the transition. The law has everything to do with the transition.
And you believe it that there is going to be transition where he's not going to...
You see, the president said, while promulgating the 1995 constitution, which the entire continent believed had the best interest for all Ugandans.
Why did he remove age limits? Why did he remove term limits?
Mr. Wanyaji, I have a point.
You see, please.
You see, these are things that the people should understand. A transition does not happen in a year. A transition is a process. A transition, even now, there is a transition.
If I am President Museveni,
yes,
and I was legitimately elected, and I've been legitimately elected year in year, every term.
Yes.
Why would I be concerned of who is going to be my next, my successor?
Another thing, Wanyaji. Let me pause this one too.
When the law is clear.
Let me pause over this.
Muvunya Sif and Bruce.
Yes.
The law is clear. If President Museveni kaput now, our law is clear on who takes charge of the country.
Another thing.
So why should that be a worry of the president?
No, if you genuinely believe that if President Museveni, God forbid, died today in his bed, that the vice president would take over. I don't know if you genuinely think
in
that.
Kenya, when Jomo Kenyatta passed away in 1978, Arap Moi took over power.
That is Kenya.
Let's have Mufunya conclude, and I cross over.
Mr. Wanyaji, when we look at a transition, we don't look at Museveni alone. No. We look at transition from even local government. We look at ministers. We look at civil service. We look at judiciary. We look at the government at large.
Civil service, civil and public service.
Yes, civil service and public service. Do we have youth in public service? Yes.
But how many are they?
Do we have youth in politics? Yes. That's why you see my brother Arnold competing with a general, a strong man in this thing. That's a transition. That's a transition. Now,
Mufunya, the average age of cabinet is about 65 years. How are you going to explain
that's a transition? That's a transition. That's a transition.
The average age of cabinet is 65 years. How are you going to explain that?
Look at the vice president. Look at the vice president. He's a young lady.
She's almost 50.
Who? He's a bracket. He's in a bracket. He's in a bracket of young people. He's in a bracket of young people. Look at the deputy speaker.
She's about 50.
Look at the deputy speaker. He's a young man. Look at the very many people are in government. Look at chairman of districts.
Saying that is a young man.
No, look at the chairman districts. Look at the members of parliaments. Look at LC1s. So that's a transition.
Let me bring in Apollo here.
You see, that is simply tokenism. What he's talking about, it is doing political management. The youth are making noise. You grab one best Arnold, you give him a position. I want you to tell me how many people are below 35 in cabinet. Because that is the
minus Nyamutoro.
who else?
Minus Nyamutoro.
Out of
During the other previous times,
Yes.
they would mention Ronald Shibure alone, who has since now been an old man. But let me place the question I placed to Owakunda and Muvunya to you. President Museveni looks to be caught in a catch-22. He wishes well for this country. At 82, I am tending to think for the president, you don't want to live in a very fragile environment like we have now. Isn't it very correct that the president would be concerned about particular fears that he has? You keep threatening him as the opposition. You raise all matter of issue that would create some kind of fear in the incumbent. Don't you think this is only a retaliation of what you're promising him? Because if your candidates are on campaign trails and busy selling hot air to the citizens of the country, and President Museveni and security agencies are able to capture some of this information, how do you want them to stay put when they have threats that are coming for them from the opposition?
Thank you very much. You see, President Museveni was answering an interview with, I think, 4A News some time back, and he asked the moderator that why do you think he's contesting? Why do we think he's still interested in the presidency of this country? And of course, he answered himself and said that he has a mission, a bigger mission that is bigger than Uganda and Africa at large that he still has to accomplish. And the moderator asked him, "Do you think you're the only person that can be able to bring that mission on?" He said, "Obviously no, but there's also no problem when he contributes his efforts." But for us who have read about all those books written about President Museveni, he has been, from the time from his youthful age, he focused on power. He focused on fighting for what he believed in, and when he's 82 and he's still here, and we also know, I think Bruce, even Agatamba, we can anticipate that he's going to be on the ballot in 2031. So it's all about himself.
There's no doubt about that.
Yes, it's all about himself. It's all about himself.
Reading the anatomy of President Museveni,
yes.
He's literally about 50 years.
In
fact, Mr. Katamba and Bruce, when we are going into this campaign, the opposition was busy saying, the president at 82, he will not canvass the entire country. He will be doing pit stops. He goes to Gulu, sleeps and he won't handle. He has campaigned.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So President Museveni, what we are into, Mr. Waj, now is between empiricism and rationalism. Where President Museveni thinks he has a lot of experience, which is true. But for us, we think the way he has managed this country, especially, they have failed on the leadership and governance question, and that's where we have a problem with him. Me personally, that's why I have an issue with President Museveni. The way he has taken the leadership and governance question, we have ministers, we have public servants, we have people looting this country, billions of money. Nobody is brought to book. Even those who are sentenced, they are just given simple sentences of 10 years, 20 years. We don't see people being put on death row, because if at all you stole 200 billion, why wouldn't you be put on death row? I mean, you're sitting on a full-fledged health center. So it's high time that Ugandans wake up and we vote this government out. But honestly, President Museveni, look at these patterns of the people around him now, and that's where the problem is. So the Anita Mong, the Thomas Tayebwa, all these people that are surrounding him. I know when he sits at the back of his mind, he should see that there is no spirit behind these people, because these people have now found a way of trying to see that they are mobilizing opposition. They came from FDC. That's also another issue. They came from FDC, and they are trying to kill all the other voices of opposition, suppressing them, buying out young people who are coming to contest in the election, bring them to President Museveni, and President Museveni thinks he's winning. But I am sure, if you've been watching the patterns and you've been watching Ugandans now, the spirit has grown. The enthusiasm is so high. You've seen people raising flags on buildings everywhere in Kampala. I saw one UPDF officer saying that every shop that has a flag should be raided. He was commanding people to go and raid, and Chris Magez has not talked about that. You can imagine. So, but people have understood that this is their country and they are willing to make a statement on the 15th of January. May I have hopes that we are going to change government through the ballot?
MP Wee to let me allow MP Wee to Bestanold, tell your supporters, you tell your supporters and the cruisers that are listening. Some are thinking, I was supporting Bestanold. He's now denominated. My hope was in him. What then happens? What's your plan B, sir? First of all, the Supreme Court hasn't made any judgment to that effect, meaning you still can petition the High Court, appeal to the Court of Appeal, run up to the Supreme Court, but definitely it's possible that it would be overtaken by events and all that. What's in your mind?
Yeah, now, like in the start, I mentioned that I'm a People's Front for Freedom candidate, that is PFF, and immediately after that, the only solution now is to appeal to the High Court. But then, after discussing it with the PFF law desk, they guided and advised that that is a wastage of time, because looking on how they are treating BSJ, looking on how they abducted some Mugumya and other stuffs that are still on the in the judicial process, and again how the judiciary has been captured. So it is a wastage of time to appeal to the High Court, because if you can see the person we are appealing to, Biabakama, then also the person that is involved in this case, Mr. Bright Rwamirama. Of recent, you saw him how he was putting with the UNEB while disqualifying King James. You can imagine manipulating UNEB.
King James has no papers now. We stole the papers.
He has no papers. So
yes,
it is a wastage of time to run and appeal to the High Court. What I'm going to do now is to remain on media, public court, and I used to tell people that Uganda cannot be developed by these politicians, by these ministers who can go on and manipulate these organizations, these institutions, but patriotic citizens. Therefore, we need to wake up and say no to these acts.
Okay.
Yes.
But maybe the last question I could ask you before we get into another topic. Aren't you disappointed by your supporters and the Ugandans that you think identify with your cause? Perhaps dust would be raised, but it's all tranquility, it's business as usual. People are producing children, they are going to markets, buying land.
No, I cannot be disappointed by these supporters.
By Ugandans, because you see,
by Ugandans,
if it is justice, we would all, even Muvunya was concerned. Aren't you bothered that Muvunya is concerned, but he's only stopping at being concerned?
No, one is, you see, all institutions are captured.
That's the capture that he's talking about.
There is something I can do. You see, we have no facts. Or no facts that my brother Arnold.
Which other facts do you want?
That my brother Arnold would win an election. That's number one. We are not sure. What is the competition? This is a competition, and we cannot be sure of a competition before it has ended.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, I appeal to my brother to calm down, replan. Go back at the elections and plan for another 5 years.
Okay, thank you. We are going for another topic.
Something about that.
Please.
Briefly on the issue of the CDF, because I didn't comment about it. Some people are saying you shouldn't have made those comments about vote and go and all those kinds of things. You see, Ugandans play double standards. When he's fighting corruption, because we know he's very good at fighting corruption in this country, nobody talks. CDF vya corruption aberechere IGG na bandi. When they're doing these other rescue services and all that, we are happy, we are applauding them. We don't say that.
Where have we seen the CDF fighting corruption?
What are you
CDF
talking
is
about?
neither the IGG No.
But that's exactly what I told you about. You have not heard about internally within UPDF. You haven't heard that he's fighting corruption. Money to do with fuel. And, do you know how many people are behind bars right now as we speak? On his orders.
At least we know
So what kind of fighting corruption are you talking? Do you want?
There is a colonel that was nabbed with 10 billion.
Not even 10. Just a colonel. There are very many, only that you are running out of time. Yeah, there are quite many.
Thank you.
So, no, I haven't concluded.
Please.
Then again, we also talked about what I'm saying. We should appreciate whether it is the opposition or NRM, because, like I said, we have so many good opposition politicians in this country.
Okay.
So even if we want to, then the issue of the old guard trying to, put aside the young people and all that. Now, it cuts across. There are people who have in NRM, so-called NRM cadres, but you know some of them. Because I have had a photo moment with the speaker or deputy speaker or the prime minister somewhere, then I think all other people are nothing. You just look down on them. Or because I've been given a Nyinekadia Fiori State House, then I think other people are talking rubbish. No. Okay. We should realize that we have to coexist. So letting different voices and all that. I want to give you an example. There's a time when the MK project had started, that vibe and all that. People thought that if you're not MK and you're NRM, you're stupid. They will even tell you on air like and they're saying they're MK project. And if you are to be very analytical, there's no difference between MK or PLU right now and NRM. That is why they have the Tuko Pamoja thing campaigning for President Museveni. So sometimes NRM cadres are overzealous. Okay. That is why you have some fights unnecessarily. We have ghetto kids. People in ghetto. The other day we are somewhere.
We have an overzealous NRM person here. That
whether here or there, but people know.
Okay.
Let me give you this as I conclude.
Please.
I was speaking somewhere on a platform, somewhere on a radio. We had an NRM cadre. Simanyi ONC. That is good. But he said, to decide danger because we know for you are going to vote Bobby Wine. That is stupid to mention. Not every ghetto member is voting for Bobby Wine. Actually, not very many of them. Actually, they were perturbed because they were listening in. We know very many ghetto members who are fighting and campaigning for President Museveni. So, if you think you're NRM more than others, you should think twice.
Thank you. We're going right into a second. We have about 8 minutes to go, but we shall have to pick your mind on the statement of His Excellency the President when he was traversing the central Buganda, literally the center of the country. He said the problem is that some of these parts voted members of the opposition to parliament. He was in Butambala and said, you see the problem he has had with people of Butambala, they've continuously voted Mwanga Chivumbi. And he said, how about now we give power to members of that particular constituency to recall that member of parliament for failing on his duties.
He has failed.
Bruce Owakonda, how are we going to be able to fire our members of parliament?
It's a very important discussion and it is timely. What makes it even better is that it's coming from the president. The truth is you cannot deny or downplay the role that parliament plays in national development. It is our primary legislative body. So as all well-meaning citizens, all well-meaning Ugandans, we should be bound by a collective desire to have a functional parliament. Because you see, parliament is at the core of the existence of citizens. Whether it is service delivery, whether it is electricity, whether it is roads, whether it is hospitals, because they do appropriation. And spending and policy formulation and aligning government priorities, even for ordinary people like you, Banyaji, who have enterprises and businesses, the legal and regulatory framework from which you operate is determined by parliament, whether it is taxation and the rest. So it is very important that we have members of parliament that are concerned about the people, because members of parliament derive their legitimacy from the people. If there are no people, if there are no citizens, then there is no member of parliament. It is simply an agent and principal relationship.
Yes.
Whatever an MP does, he transacts business on behalf of the people who are the principals in this case. But you see, one of the reasons is one of the challenges is also the multi-party dispensation. We are obsessed with numbers, and it has degenerated the quality of the leaders we have. The president is on record to have said that even if you bring a jerrycan or somebody who sleeps but is is NRM. So if you have that perception, I don't think you service delivery is you care about the service delivery as much. But you see also another challenge is that the Parliament has the autonomy, has the independence to decide on the procedures and processes. So it is going to be the same Parliament to do that, to pass law, to
legislate against themselves,
which is going to be difficult. In October, there is a constitutional court gave a ruling by justice read by Sekana. In the constitution, during the movement system, people were actually here allowed to recall their members of parliament, but it does not work in the multi-party dispensation now. So I think it is a timely conversation, but also we as people do not have a deep and comprehensive understanding of how the house works and what these members of parliament are supposed to do. Sometimes they are overzealous, like Sifa has said. They promise things they cannot fulfill. They do roles that do not belong to themselves. So if we are to record them, then we are also going to create some chaos.
Okay, thank you. Apollo, certainly it's not that members of the public cannot recall a member of parliament. There are actually grounds provided under the constitution that citizens can actually call, or constituents can actually recall their members of parliament. But they are simply on things like incapacity, desertion, and things like that, more of technical things, but not to say someone has outrightly not performed on their duties. We have the parliamentary scorecard where they evaluate members of parliament and even give us a brief of who literally didn't speak for 5 years. I saw your member of parliament, Jennifer Muhesi, was literally the last. She did nothing in the parliament. She didn't speak.
Yes.
It is possible she didn't speak, but on the ground things are different. Do you associate with the statement of the president?
First of all, President Museveni has been here for some time. So he campaigned in 1980, 1996, 2001, 2006, 2011, 2016. So he has mastered the art of what Ugandans want to listen to. So probably, probably when he sits down and brings such kind of narrative, he thinks that people are going to believe him. I know at some point there is when he mentioned, I don't know what happened, but there is a time when Parliament voted a vote of displeasure in the president, and president was very furious about it. But they put a motion of displeasure and they voted in favor of that, so that they were displeased on the way he had conducted, I think, some business to do with their term of office. So, I mean, laws have been here. We have laws here. Like you said, Article 83, of course, talks about how someone can lose their membership in parliament, but the technicalities are quite kind of complex, because you need 2/3 of the people from your constituency to sign a petition. 2/3 of the people, you can imagine. So
and also finding a genuine reason.
Yes, finding a genuine reason, and then they have to bring it to the speaker, and then the speaker sends the electoral commission to go and find out and verify. So you can imagine a parliament of Anita Mong sending Justice Byabakama to go and find out whether Arnold should be recorded, Bright Rwamrama should be recorded or not. So you can see the pattern that something that cannot work out. So that is politics, and we just leave it at that. First of all, the key performance indicators that you have to base yourself, say this one has not performed here. It is representation. The roles are very clear.
But I think in the 47 million Ugandans, if you ask them about Samuel Nganda, I doubt any Ugandan would think that man has failed on his duty.
Yes,
I think all of us by consensus can agree that this man, either way, both across the divide, he has done tremendously.
That's what I'm saying. First of all, President Museveni has the parliament is too big, and it is a creation of the NRM. I would say the parliament is too big that you can literally follow each and every individual to know this person has performed. I know the hazard is there to capture their attendance and whatever they say, but some of the people don't even they are not educated. They can hardly legislate, like read a bill and understand it. So we just send them there. I mean, to make money and live this fancy life that Katamba was saying about. I remember there is one member of parliament. There is one member of parliament who was there is one member of parliament who was disqualified because he had not attended for those 15 sittings, but he was in court. I think is Tony Kipoi in 10th parliament there.
There was in Nsubuga Kipoi. He was actually called in Nsubuga. He was found in the Congo. Something like that.
MP for Bubulo there in Manafa. So he's called Kipoi. So I think that is the only case I know. But we also know that Sewanyan and the Red Segirinya spent very many years in prison and they were missing parliament. There was no representation at that time. So what was happening to their people, their constituency, because they also had issues to be represented on the floor. So President Museveni should
but he also had a one General Sejusa, who was a member of parliament representing the military, who went to London for literally 2 years, and he was a member of parliament.
Then, right on
the good thing that constituency has very many MPs.
Right,
they are 10.
Right,
they all can speak.
Yes,
they all can speak.
See, some people.
Conclude.
Right Honorable Kadaga has not attended the parliament. Throughout this session, I think she only appeared to swear in as an MP and as a minister, and she has not attended the parliament. When Mama Janet was a member of parliament, she never attended the parliament. So they don't attend the parliament. We don't see them in parliament. But then Brent Museveni should also, what happens when he doesn't perform? What do we do with him? That is something that we should have answered. Yes.
Point to conclude.
But also,
Mufunya, yes.
I think Ant should have the least interest in these things of parliament. They don't have people who sit there.
They have no locus in law. They have no locus. Mufunya, I am pretty sure if the people of Kawempe South were given an opportunity to recall Kaziwe Bashir, they would have recalled him after 1 year.
Kaziwe was attending.
And let me tell you, Mr. Wanyaji, this one has come timely, and since it has been mentioned by the head of state, I know my speaker Anita Mong would have gone to parliament and chair it and confirms it as a law. But because now it has been my sickness, my phobia.
But what if the underhand of negative forces mobilize the constituents and recall you?
No, we are talking about.
That's also possible.
If you don't perform, you see, I don't like people who don't perform their people. It makes me sick because. This time for campaigning, you talk a lot, promise this, able to show people that you can manage. You know the roles of the position they are electing you to, but eventually 2 years, 5 years, you get lost and you come back when for election. It has happened. We have seen it. We are electorates. We are people who stay with electorates. My member of parliament, for example, from Kitagwenda, Honorable Doris Nzibunera. For all yearly performance analysis for 5 years, she has
been the last.
No, she performs 0%. But can I tell you, she's a flag bearer. She's a flag bearer.
That's a contradiction. Yes. Then how? No. Then who is the real examiner?
That one.
Who is the? Is it the constituents?
What the president realized, it is factual. It's going to help us assess the performance of our leaders, and we have the capacity and right to recall him.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. Another thing.
Conclusively.
Yes. Members of parliament.
When you record 2 people in the
we make an election direct. Yes. There must be a ground.
Vote of financial implication. But conclude. Our time is fast spent.
Lastly, members of parliament that do not perform very well. The performance, the ritual performance of the MPs affects the party performance. So you find when analysts are giving us more marks, the party marks for performing for the country. So therefore, it is a disservice for electing a leader that does not perform to the level of the party, and eventually the whole problem, the whole burden goes to the party. Thank
you, Mufunya. Best Arnold, would you be okay being recalled from Parliament for underperformance by your constituents?
Yeah, it would be very fine because what is my role? But about this, to reflect on this, I want to mention that Museveni should realize that he would be the first victim because he is a non-performer over 40 years. His wife, Minister of Education, because the whole education, the whole education is dead. The whole education is dead. Thirdly, the state minister of Rwamirama on education, on agriculture.
Yes.
So, if it could be put to use, maybe and implemented rightfully, this is a meritorious role. But the biggest challenge we have is that normally, or it is always all talk and no action.
Okay.
So, secondly, elections, to me, I believe it is a recall enough. Because it should be 5 years accountability. But then the biggest challenge is it still the people power or the state power? And then thirdly, citizens, like Wakunda mentioned, citizens do not know the role of MPs. So what are they going to recall?
What is it?
They don't know their KPIs. They don't know their key performance.
So many citizens will not know how to use it, how to use this role. They will consider things like failure to attend burials, to dish out tokens. So it is also a challenge.
For me, let me give you an example.
Sifa, yes.
Omuntu izo barimo twaturiyo mbururo kuyajya ngo gambere onarebo areke kutukorera nguto ngo ate nguto nengasara ngo gambere reto buhunga.
But we saw
it means someone who is distributing posho will not be recorded. Konkor orukore nguto. But
we saw an old man before the president saying, me the only problems I have, Mzei, I need shoes. As people are asking for Sifa, take us out of
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges, Banyaji, is the civic education. It is really wanting. People do not know exactly what they should do and when to do it. That's why even as we speak right now, some people do not know that you need, because there are different voices. You need an ID, a voter slip card, whatever, to go and vote and all that. Others come in and say you don't need these. So for me, that it is the Electoral Commission has not done its due work diligently. They have not civilized, educated people on exactly what to do. So even this issue of recalling members of parliament, there are people out there who know that it can never happen. They don't know. Someone talked about the issue that the fact that voters do not know the roles of MPs. They don't. But even some MPs themselves do not know why they're in parliament. That is why they promise things that are not, within their. They're not there. Every time by promising, so I think now recording it will be hard. But then also again, Banyaji, MPs should really know that they are taking Ugandans for granted. That is why the law is very clear. If someone is not in their constituencies, they are not seeing them, they can recall them. But na ijaza kuvia tukatujira heru ngwabo konyo bakanteka kuza ku benchmarking amanye biki, so they lie. That is why we need to empower people in terms of knowledge and understanding what exactly they are supposed to be done for. What exactly is, who is supposed to do something for them and when. And finally, Banyaji, the legal challenge of the constitutional amendment of 2000 and is it 5? Why they say that the constitution now, the people cannot be recalled because we're in a multi-party dispensation. Why can't they tackle this and work on that? But finally, someone said President Museveni is a non-performer. Having come out with the fact that he needs to do this and people can recall non-performing members of parliament, it shows you that experience comes with age. Thank you.
Thank you, Sif. I want to appreciate Brian Tumuhimbise, a very big supporter of the CDF from Muhoozi Kainerugaba. And catching the show, I want to appreciate you so much. And for those that have been locked on the radio, from where we started up to where we are, I want to appreciate you. Gerard Bikorwarahanga, you're saying I have learned today that supporting and defending NRM is hard because I'm seeing how Muvunya is struggling with the edge of his lips and all that. Gilbert Mohanji, I see you. Can they pass the law that is going to affect them? Isaac Omodama, you're saying they invite Okay. Everyone is talking about Katamba Muvunya here on X for failing to answer that particular question, and Bruce Wakunda. But I want to appreciate everyone that has been locked on the radio. Let's meet next Saturday on the big seat. Have a fantastic year. God bless you. We have news at the top of the hour. Good morning.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of this radio station or its management.
This radio is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission, UCC.